If you want to make some fantasy picks on your favorite sports, check out Underdog Fantasy. It's all the rage, where you can choose higher or lower between 2 to 8 players, and you can win up to 325 times your entry. Use the code K100 at the Underdog Fantasy website, on the app, or at our personalized link, and you can receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well as a free pick. Underdog Fantasy offers a unique approach to fantasy sports, and it's a simple pick-em style format. You can select players you believe will outperform expectations without the complexities of traditional daily fantasy sports. The user-friendly interface and growing community make it easy and fun to play, plus it's available in over 30 U.S. states. We will share our picks for you every week on K100 Sports. You can follow along or play against us. So use the code K100 at UnderdogFantasy.com on the app or at the link included in the show notes and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. UnderdogFantasy.com. It's an underdog thing. Next is from our boy. Who we got here? Hang on, I lost my spot. Okay. So next from Alex. Yeah. Hi, K100 Crew. Love the show. I do respectfully disagree with the recent conversation about critics of Vince Russo, such as Dave Meltzer and Bruce Pritchard, refusing to appear on his podcast. I understand your point about them not wanting to go on the show as someone who's been critical of them. However, it's worth noting that these guys have used Russo for content for years, arguably growing their subscriber base by telling one-sided and often, from Russo's perspective, untruthful stories about his career. Considering the money they made from the commentary on it, for instance, Pritchard's Vince Russo episode is one of his most popular. Don't you think they owe it to Russo to appear on a show for respectful debate? Now, on to my question about Russo. On Pritchard's show, he occasionally mentioned that someone was too nice to succeed in the wrestling business. Do D.I. and Konnan believe the sentiment holds true? And when it comes to Russo, was he simply too nice of a guy to get along with many of the personalities in the business? Thanks for everything, Alex.
I got to throw a time out on Alex here real quick, and you guys might not be aware of this, but before Bruce went back to WWE, and him and Conrad did a lot of live shows, SummerSlam weekend, Rumble, whatever. They had a show in the Colorado area, and Vince was invited and did not go. Do you remember that?
Interesting. I didn't know that.
But they did try to have Vince come and be a part of the whole thing, but he didn't want to do it at that time.
No, Vince is fine doing the castrating the mark and everything. He doesn't care about doing a show with Meltzer. But let me say this, though. I will say this about Vince, and anybody in Coney, you know him. Bro, Vince was never like the politician, ever. Like all those cutthroat guys back. Like Vince was like a minnow in a Shark Tank with those guys, like the Kevin Sullivans and, Eric and Johnny A, like all those guys, working behind the JJ Dillon and stuff. Vince was just, he was kind of set in his ways and what he wanted to do. That's fine. He's a writer, but I was in that writing room with him for almost a year. I never saw, he was never ever a type of guy that would try to stick it to somebody to try, you know what I'm saying? How they'll, if you do something wrong or you got heat, they'll try to stick it to you on TV. I never ever not
well,
one time
he tried to stick it to Bradshaw, and a lot of people ended up getting hurt.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not saying about that. I'm just saying what I've worked with them.
Yeah. Not in general. He wasn't like that. I 100% agree. He was not a politician.
Right.
He was always getting mad and I'm going to go home and all this.
Right.
I feel he didn't get his way. 100%.
Right.
But obviously, probably JBL probably with him, or he saw him with a lot of people, and he said, "You know what? Let's see how tough you really are."
Right.
But by doing that, and like Vince Russo said, they put all the heat on him, but Vince okayed it. You can't do what you want there, right? The bad thing is like 70% of the guys end up getting embarrassed or hurt or both.
Yeah, you know what though? But I got what you're saying has merit, but it's not like the type of situation where somebody refuses to do something or doesn't like your creative and tells you, and then so you're going to stick it to him and put him in a bad creative. This was JBL running his mouth about how tough he was,
right?
And I'm all right, okay, right.
Yeah.
So that's not that
I understand that,
right? But the end result was kind of but it's he wasn't
Williams' career.
He wasn't politicking trying to the guy over. He was like, okay, let's see how tough this guy is, so bro, I'm fascinated by how many people sign up for that. I could never imagine a locker room today where that many people would be willing to fight each other.
Because there were tough guys back then. Today, they're the majority, not everybody, is a bunch of snowflake, know. And I mean, I see it every day when I got to work with them.
Right.
And but he was also saying something. I don't know if you want to reread that part because it was a lot. He was also saying something about that Dave Meltzer and Pritchard talk about him for ratings or something like that.
Right. I understand your point about them not wanting to go on the show of someone who's been critical of them. However, it's worth noting that these guys have used Russo for content for years, arguably growing their subscriber base by telling one-sided and often, from Russo's perspective, untruthful stories about his career. Considering the money they've made from their commentary on him, for instance, Pritchard's Vince Russo episode is one of his most popular. Don't you think they owe it to Russo to appear on a show for a respectful debate? I would say no.
I've said no all along. And like Joe said, they invited him to their show and he didn't go. So why should he go on theirs? That's number one. And they both talk about each other. So is Russo supposed to pay them? We all talk about each other. We're all in the same game. And it's kind of ridiculous to think that somebody's got to pay you because you were talking about him. You know,
Sean Rossap posted on. Did you see this recently, Joe? Sean posted that he's flattered that people are referencing the Fievel Awards.
So he saw it.
The podcasters are using the Fievel Awards for cut. I'm like, all right, yeah, we're making fun of them. Right. So whatever. But the one thing about the bro, that's the one thing about the dirt sheet guys in this community of podcasting, okay, and then wrestling, we're podcasting about stuff. Bro, it's all content, and like it's anything anybody says is content. Any podcast or dirt sheet guy, anything that we see on TV, it's all content that needs to be that could be discussed.
Sure.
I think it's fascinating. These people think like the dirt sheet guys are. Some of them get the people talk about the things that they write.
Well, not just
and
that.
Like,
here's something, and you hit this right on the head when you said it, and I hadn't even really thought about it till you said it, bro. All the dirt sheet guys, with very few exceptions, are a lot like the people on the periphery in the podcast, right? Not the main guys, but the ones that are on the periphery, right?
Right.
They're all cut from the same cloth. They want to be somebody that they ain't.
Right.
They want to be try to be's. You know, everybody wants to be Meltzer as much as we criticize them, right? Mm-hmm. And they all have a very, very high opinion of themselves. Correct. And if you in any way disagree with them, you're the enemy. You don't know what you're talking about. Old heads. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They attack you. They insult you.
Right. They can't ever say, you know what? Maybe he's right. I'm wrong. Let me look at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Because their whole thing is that they're based on their credibility is their mantra.
Right.
So if you question their credibility, it's like it's kind of like you're going after their money. You know,
I think it's more their ego, bro. It's more like how dare he say that about me? Or like when you said the other day, why would I want to go on your show or whatever he told you? You know, like he kind of he belittled it.
Right. Like ours, like this show is, bro, like, you know.
I guarantee you that if people know about your show, they know about ours.
Yeah, and all you got to do is look at Sean Rossap's views that he gets when he goes on other people's shows. It's definitely not. I'm surprised we even offered him a spot. I asked him to come on our show because it would have been a waste of time.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.